it's over, let it go. 52 times a year, the week is done and over with before you know.
Thank you very much indeed. Hello, good evening and welcome. I am David Frost and That Was the Week That Was. Finally, after 60 years, the third series has finally arrived. After the first two series were cruelly cancelled by the BBC and the then Tory government of Harold Macmillan. And now to our first news story this week. NASA scientists have revealed that they have probed a remote Scottish island after discovering it has similar rocks to those found on Mars. Those of you who have an interest in astronomy will realise that explains the origins of the deep-fried Mars bar. Our second news story of the week comes from The Guardian. The Guardian says, our view on the King's pay rise, there is no justification for handing over more millions. However, Charles says, I need more money. I've got 2 kids, 26 corgis, a paedophile and 10 sausage fingers to support. Whilst Suella Braverman on ITV said climate policy should not hit people's bank accounts, which, however, will not bother Nigel Farage as he can't get one. Next, in the Telegraph, comedian Frank Skinner was interviewed. I don't talk about sex for the same reason I don't talk about climbing trees. Yes, Frank went on to tell the story of how one day he fell out of a woman. Nice one, Frank. It's been a great week for Barbie. She may have a fantastically diverse cast, but we need an actual fat doll in real life, says the Metro. TW think the fat Barbie could come with a range of accessories, with a mini gym, diet sheets, personal coach, range of leotards, and an online trolls group. On Monday, ITV said the green man at pedestrian crossings could stay lit up for longer for UK's less fit population. We think that what is needed is another setting, a green man with a Zimmer perhaps, that gives you an hour and 20 minutes to saunter across the road. The Daily Star showed us the moment when a golfer dump-tackled a naked streaker at the Open, who then went on to miss his next putt. So that's golfer gets a hole in one, but not a hole in the other. Snake on a train, cried the BBC. It shocked passengers who were heading to Leeds. However, it turns out to only be a corn snake. So yes, thanks for the information, BBC. To make matters worse, the snake complained about not having enough leg room. Also, on Monday, the Daily Mail showed a man climbing Snowdon to set up a solar-powered banana can to discourage the fruit litterers from dumping their unwanted skins. Yes, our conclusion is that a scientist has gone bananas. Finally, on Monday, The Guardian revealed that a Welsh whisky is to gain UK's special protected origin label. Yes, Welsh whisky. You can almost smell the heather 300 miles away further north in Scotland. On Tuesday, the Metro showed us that there are hopes for a future Earth-like planet boosted by a watery find. Don't you believe it, Metro? If the human race went there would be some Karen who think the planet was too wet and she couldn't dry her blonde hair properly. Also, on Tuesday, Kylian Mbappe broke his silence on Al Hilal's world record $259 million offer to PSG. This is all becoming a bit like an episode of Lost in Space or Star Trek, where an evil empire is collecting specimens of human beings to put them in a sporting zoo. We were asked on Tuesday to meet the bra professor who has helped England's Lionesses roar on the pitch. Why you need a bra to roar, I do not know. However, she says she can help you get the most out of exercise. However, if it were me, I would call myself the bra whisperer. You just can't keep Donald Trump out of the news. On Tuesday, Trump said he's gearing up for his final battle. So should we? Asked The Guardian. What, is this Narnia? With the forces of evil, led by Donald Trump, attacking Aslan and the Duracell bunny. Also on Tuesday, iNews said, foreplay just vanished, 25 years on, how Viagra changed sex for older women forever. Foreplay just vanished, said Debbie McGee about her sex life with Paul Daniels. Finally, on Tuesday, Michael Gove was in The Independent. The ban on petrol cars by 2030 was immovable, but the boiler ban needs review. Immovable? Run out of petrol, has it? No U-turn? Rack and pinion needs replacing? On Wednesday, The Sun said British Airways staff were forced to serve KFC after a major issue with in-flight food, and people are furious. How did they get the KFC? From a bucket shop? Chickens can't fly. On Wednesday, a woman was accused of hiring a snake charmer to kill her boyfriend in a twisted murder plot. Well, I suppose in a Mills and Boon, that would be what they call a charm offensive. On Wednesday, the Metro was in no mood to stop global warming. More people would die from loneliness than would ever die from pollution. Well, I suppose it's true. Who could be lonely on a crowded, busy London street walking through a cloud of diesel fumes? On Wednesday, style icon Victoria Beckham ditched her signature stilettos to wear $450 yellow crop boots, after revealing she would rather die than wear the foam clogs. Yes, indeed, we have a picture of Victoria Beckham modelling the latest Inter Miami football boots. That might get them off the bottom of the table, Victoria? Yes, Lionel Messi played his first game for Inter Miami and scored 2. However, Inter are still bottom of the league, which begs the question as to why Messi would want to end his career with such a bunch of losers. The National Front press were all over Michael Barrymore this week. He has been secretly back in the public eye for months, said the Mirror, but no one has noticed. As far as we're concerned at TWTW, we didn't want to notice. We were all hoping the bastard would go away. He has been producing the story of teenage best friends, Stan Laurel and Charlie Chaplin, whose relationship broke down when the silent movie star Chaplin found fame in Hollywood. Well, all we can say is at least Stan didn't murder him in a swimming pool. TWTW agrees that the public eye should be on Barrymore, just in case he murders any more gay men in his swimming pool. Finally, on Wednesday, we heard about Joe Biden's dog, who has bitten Secret Service staff at least 10 times in 4 months. Well, let's have a think about it. What do Secret Service agents do? They hide and then they jump out on you going, boo! I expect Joe bites them as well. Thursday brought the news that a tourist has been caught feeding horses buckfast at a Scottish heritage site. Yes, it's a bucky bronco. It doesn't half make those horses buckfast. On a lighter note, Huffington Post said, how much does the average person fart? Apparently, the 8 to 23-year-old age group farts 9.8 times a day. And at 58 plus, the average is only 7.3 times a day. So it's true, young people are responsible for global warming. Also, on Thursday, Mail Online wrote, that looks just like my husband, as Camilla and Charles shared a joke over a pie that bore an uncanny resemblance to the king. I've heard it say that the pie tasted much better when accompanied by 10 sausage fingers. But hang on a minute, you can't mock the king. Camilla should have had her head chopped off and made into a meat pie. Yummy. Over in the US, there was the sad sight on Thursday of US lawmaker Mitch McConnell freezing while he was speaking at a US press conference and had to be escorted away. So for this item, we've handed it to the Duracell Bunny.
I have studied this film and it looks like Mitch McConnell's batteries have run down. I'm going to go over there and lend him some of mine.
This week in the metro, scientists gave a warning to humanity. Time-travelling zombie viruses are reawaking from melting ice. So if you fancy some caveman flu or some long COVID that lasts 10,000 years or more, your luck's in. On Friday, the Mail talked about a UFO expert who was studied by NASA for years, who claims he can summon alien orbs by prayer. That's funny, I've been praying for years for the Mail to stop writing crap like this, and nothing's ever happened. Also, on Friday, The Guardian reported that the MOD has accidentally sent classified emails meant for the US to a Russian ally. Right, let me just type this out. Our country is safe in their hands. Hang on, I meant our country is not safe in their hands. Finally, on Friday, Ricky Ponting was left fuming after being hit by a grape during live Sky Sports Ashes coverage. That's obviously a sign, Ricky, sour grapes from an Aussie. It could have been a bloody melon, couldn't it? And I bet he dropped it. On Sunday, the Express gave us Farage versus the NatWest, proving the adage, go woke or go broke. Here on TWTWTW, we prefer the older adage, go woke or go fucking home. Yes, it was Farage Sunday, and again the Express gave us a new Brexit board game, featuring Nigel Farage that could rival Scrabble and Monopoly. It's of no surprise to us that Farage is in a children's game. Everybody's going to want to be the Farage. He's like the top hat in Monopoly. Dear old Donald Trump vowed to run for president from his prison if convicted. The only question is, who's going to be his vice president? Does that mean that Mike Pence is going to be his prison bitch again? On Sunday, in the German news, we were given 10 German words with hilarious literal translations. Apparently, a doodle sack means a yodel sack. And no, it's not what a delivery man carries at Christmas, it's bagpipes. The Sunday Times gave us, my caveman ancestor had sex with a Neanderthal, and it hurts. TWTWTW thinks the Neanderthal got the rough end of the stick, judging by our friend in the picture. However, all this confirms what we already knew. Times reporters are a bunch of Neanderthals, aren't they? Returning to the banking farrago, we read that the bad boys of Brexit claim they were debanked like Nigel Farage. Yes, it all makes sense. Debunked and then debanked the Brexit benefits for the National Front supporters. Also on Sunday, iNews gave us Frank Skinner, who said, I did 42 gigs and only made 180 quid. But as far as that was the week that was is concerned, it's far right and far too much money for Frank Skinner. You can't keep a good man down, can you? Well, 3,000 feet down, that is. We're talking about OceanGate's co-founder, who wants to send 1,000 people to a floating colony on Venus by 2050. There you are, Cruella Braverman, another floating vessel you can send migrants to certain death on. And finally on Sunday, we read that there are Teslas on the road in Britain with over 300,000 miles on the clock. Yes, but isn't that the problem with self-drive cars? They nip off overnight when you're asleep. Well, this has been David Frost on That Was the Week That Was. So goodbye, good evening, and see you next week.
That was the week that was. It's over, let it go. 52 times a year. The week is done and over with before